If you look at what Singapore has developed as a country, and Lee Kuan Yew instituted when he built this country, they instituted a policy of how they were going to marry various religions, various races, cultures of all different diversities and backgrounds together. And I think in the United States, we're certainly good at that to a degree. We're also battling that on a lot of levels as well. There's a fine balance that I love about Asia. There's a mentality that individual freedoms and community good, there's a fine line between where those two coexist and where they break. I think that was absolutely something that I grew up with as a Midwestern kid, and I also think is starting to separate in the United States, and I'd love to see that come back together. I see that every day in Asia. I think Asian societies are very good about that line of individual freedom versus community good, and that's something I would really appreciate.
Can you name any differences that you remember that was different in Singapore 11 years back?
The landscape, I mean, just simply buildings and infrastructure, property development. I think Changi only had 3 terminals, now it's going on Terminal 5. I love to support small business, and that's been a big change in Singapore. There's a huge emphasis on a lot of major corporations and businesses that are able to enter this market. I have quite a few friends whose fathers were hawker owners, food stall owners, or electricians, things that are are really industry driven and trade work. I think are things that are obviously disappearing as a service industry here.
What could you say or do in the US and it would be appropriate, but then if you do it like in Singapore or in Asia, it would be like, no.
I was in Australia last week with a couple Singaporean colleagues, and they were fascinated by the idea of protesters, which I thought as an American is hilarious. Like, I really hope you can edit in the Viking guy taking over the Capitol building. I marched right by the protesters, had no awareness. I mean, I looked at it, okay, they're protesting about something. I carry on with my day. My Singaporean colleagues were like, it's against the law basically to protest. You have to go apply for a permit and explain why you're going to protest in Hong Lim Park in Singapore. This is the Korean embassy, North Korean embassy.
What do you feel looking at it?
Confused, because I really would have loved to see Kim Jong-un if he was here a couple of years ago in my neighborhood.
It actually doesn't look like an embassy. It looks like just a normal house.
Look at the little plaque.
Yeah, I see the plate, but it's
I also want to know who they approved to live in the alley down the side. They must think that I'm like a U.S. spy or something, because I walk the dog past here every day.
I see the flag.
Yeah, it's hiding behind this giant tree.
That's funny.
It's pretty crazy, actually. I mean, it's genuinely crazy. It's in this tiny little neighborhood.
Yeah. You don't expect, like, walking around this particular neighborhood to see the North Korean embassy. That's funny.